A very warm welcome to all of you who are joining us both live on Zoom and live in Facebook as I talk with Bridget Marticorena Riggs this afternoon about her own personal journey to healing. For those of you who are watching live, please type hashtag live in Facebook. And if you're watching the replay, of course, type hashtag replay and always leave comments for us so that we can know what you thought, what you enjoyed, and if you have any questions. Our guest today, Bridget, is going to check. She'll be monitoring the Facebook thread after the session, and she will make sure to return any feedback that you need. So please don't be shy, communicate with us, and we will definitely get back to you and you'll be helped. So I'm Wendy Yorching, founder of the Healing Spaces Caribbean Feng Shui Consultancy and the tribe mom of the Find Your Fire Tribe. And today is our Find Your Fire Friday session with Bridget Riggs of
Finding Coherence.
Finding Coherence. Bridget is an expert on self-healing, having had terrible disease that she struggled with for many years. And then she found her own pathway to healing using a combination of very fascinating ancient modalities. And she is going to be sharing some of that with you today. So I'm going to just hand over to Bridget. Bridget, the floor is yours. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you everybody for coming today. I hope you learned a couple of things today, and please share and pass it on to other people, because this healing art that I'm going to share is very impactful and has changed quite a few lives that I've been able to touch. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I have a PowerPoint presentation. Please write your questions in the chat, and either Wendy or I will get to them, but I will kind of focus on the PowerPoint presentation at first. So hi, my name is Bridget Riggs, and I had a healing journey of Hashimoto's. And Hashimoto's is an autoimmune disease that affects the thyroid, which is in your throat. I am a scientist at heart. I have actually 14 publications. The 14th one is, I just got word about a month ago that they're going to publish. And most of those scientific publications are with cervical cancer and colon cancer, because I was working in a cancer lab for many years, 10 and a half years before I had to quit because of my health. So I'm also a primordial sound meditation instructor through the Chopra Center, and I am a practitioner of the Jin Shinjutsu. I'm also the founder of Finding Coherence, which is the company that I started to help people find their journey of healing, whether they have a disease or not, or just have chronic headaches or pain in their foot. I mean, Jin Shin works on everything. So I do need to make a disclaimer to protect myself. I am not a doctor. This presentation does not substitute for the diagnosis and the treatment of conditions by physicians or other qualified healthcare providers. Rather, it's intended to offer information to help participants promote their own good health naturally, and to cooperate with healthcare professionals in a mutual quest for optimum well-being using the body's innate wisdom, which everybody has. And this is what Jin Shin does as far as uses your innate system to heal your body. I'm not going to go through the slide because there's a lot on here, but this was my healing journey. There was a lot of trauma, death. I was diagnosed with Hashi's 2012. And typically it takes about 10 years for an autoimmune disease to actually get diagnosed. And typically you go through 2 to 3 different doctors. I wasn't feeling well for a while before I was diagnosed, and the doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with them. A lot of them said it was in my head. A lot of them said there was nothing wrong with me. Several ER visits toward the end that I just got frustrated because, you know, they made me feel like I was going insane, like it really was in my head. And it was pretty mentally exhausting, to the point where I had to quit my job. And it was a dream job of 10 and a half years of working. And I knew when I woke up one day, the pain that I felt, the fatigue, the joint pain, the depression, I didn't want to do it anymore. And I thought a lot of the stress was coming from the job that I had, even though I loved it, but I didn't know how to handle stress properly. And it wasn't really until I started doing JSJ daily, which took me a couple of years to figure that out. But when I had the combination of Jin Shinjutsu, tuning forks, and frequencies, that was when my body shifted into wellness. And I stopped taking the Synthroid medication, which is a lifelong drug that they put you on. And I went and got blood work, and doctor said that I didn't have the antibodies anymore of Hashimoto's and that I healed my body. She did not ask me what I did, which kind of upset me, but my journey, my story. So I'm here to share it with others. Another slide, a lot of stuff in here. Basically, the point, I spent a lot of money, a lot of time doing a bunch of different things with just a little bit of improvement. Yes, it was worth everything I did. It was just baby steps that I was taking, but it was a lot. And food is really what I found was the source of a lot of issues, because I had a lot of reactions with the gluten. So I had to be very careful with what I ate. And it became one of these things where I knew my mindset was, when I was putting anything, especially when we went out to dinner, in my mouth, I would feel that panic. Well, is this another ER visit? Or is this going to be a problem? Or am I going to have a reaction to this? And that kind of mindset does make you sick. So I kind of figured that out and figured out that frequencies are everywhere and everything. It's in our food, it's in the light, it's in sound. That's why I like mantras a lot. Singing's really good. It's in aromatherapy. Rose and pine oils are the highest vibrational frequencies that you can actually smell, which do amazing things to your body. Of course, words, thoughts, and emotions have frequencies. And that was the big trigger for me. The words that I was saying, the thoughts that I was saying, waking up. And the first thing that I would say was, oh, great, another day, aches and pains. I hate my body's failing me, blah, blah, blah. And it was awful. And I was just doing it to myself because I didn't know any better. But when I started learning from Mary, which is her quote, do not let any thought go through your mind that you do not want to manifest. That kind of stuck with me a little bit, thinking, well, if the thoughts that I'm having could create disharmony, well, they could create harmony. And when I read this Albert Einstein quote, future medicine will be the medicine of frequencies, I thought, well, he's been dead for a long time. This quote's still around. Maybe there's something to this. So then I started looking into frequencies. And me personally, I had a lot of pride, fear, grief, and shame in my body, in my thoughts, in my emotions. It was a regular daily practice of these emotions. When I looked at this chart, I realized, whoa, shame is down here. How low vibrating can this be? I mean, it's can't get much lower than that. Then I looked at grief. I didn't even think grief was an issue. I mean, I know my mom and uncle passed away, my aunt, my dog. I was, okay, I'm just processing grief. Okay, you're supposed to be sad. I didn't understand the impact that it had when you had that grief, as well as pride and anger. I was very angry for a long time. I didn't even know why. It was just all the emotions that I was not processing. Even with meditating every day, it was a process, and it was my own mind that was making me lower vibrating in my body. So that's when I realized love or higher in gratitude daily is what I needed to do in order to get healthy. So I looked into mantras, and this was mainly when I went to the Chopra Center and saw all the different mantras that they had, and just a group of 500 people meditating all together was just a totally different experience I've never felt before. And I realized, something's about this meditating and praying with people. It's good. It feels awesome. So mantras, if you don't know, is either a sound, word, or phrase that is repeated by someone who is either praying or meditating. And to break up the word, manas means mind and tra is tool. So really it's a tool for your mind. And my favorite one, designed by or made from David G., who worked at the Chopra Center, his mantra was Ananda Maya Moksha. And that means bliss, illusion, and liberation or release. And then I started to think a little bit about more of my life and my situations and my thought process and my belief systems. And I started realizing, wait a minute, when my mom passed away and my sister and I were talking about the same event, but her story was different than my story, but it was the same event. And then my brother came and he had a totally different experience on the same episode. I realized, something's not right. I mean, my memory's good, but we all had our different experiences. So then I started thinking, is it really an illusion because of where I was in my life at that time and what I was thinking and how I processed things. So that kind of made me realize, hey, there's a lot to do with this mantra. And I did every day when I started thinking how awful I felt and how I didn't want to go to work and things like that. I started doing an Ananda Maya Moksha, just repeated, and it started to change things in my body. Oops, so sorry. So then I started getting to the scientific mind that I have and went back to basics in the body. Why is my body failing me? I was really curious and wanted to do some research. So we have a central nervous system. There's two components to this, sympathetic mode and the parasympathetic mode. When we're in the sympathetic mode, we're in that fight, flight, or freeze. We're back into the caveman days where we're out picking berries and we see a lion and we realize, oh, we're gonna fight or we're gonna flight or we're gonna freeze. It's just a natural response in our body that our brain has developed, our evolution has been where we wanna protect ourselves. And when you're not in that sympathetic mode, then you're gonna be in the parasympathetic mode. This is where we rest, digest, restore, and heal our bodies. And what I realized, I was mostly in the sympathetic mode rather than the parasympathetic mode. I did a little bit more research with Dr. Bruce Lipton, Dr. Dispenza, and realized that we're supposed to be in parasympathetic 95% of the day. I think we have it wrong. I think most of us are in sympathetic mode because of the computers, because of the cell phones, because of the news all the time, because of the way society is. And that really had an effect on my body. And I realized, you know what, I need to change some things out. So I don't watch TV. I don't watch the news. I meditate a lot more. I read, I do other things that are going to serve my body. So I want to show you a picture of the vagus nerve, because when you activate the vagus nerve, that's when you can get into sympathetic mode. And vagus is defined as wandering. So this nerve, and it was only really kind of rediscovered about 5-10 years ago. It's in mainstream media now, as far as that the vagus nerve actually touches or gets involved with every major organ of our body. That to me is fascinating. Here we have the thoracic, this is your vertebrae, your thoracic ones, your lumbar, your sacral down here, and then your cervical. And you can see all the different parts of the body, the organs, and that the vagus nerve affects everything and has a reaction or will react to the vagus nerve when it's calming down. This picture here shows you in the pink what happens when you're in the parasympathetic mode, what the nerves do, and then the light blue or green is sympathetic. So you can see what value this vagus nerve and knowing about it, how you can use this to your advantage by calming your body and getting into parasympathetic mode. And what I've realized is that to calm it, we can do 4 different ways. There's many other ways, but right now we'll just talk about 4 different ways to calm your vagus nerve. And breath work is huge. And a lot of us, don't go outside and get fresh air. Inside the house, there's a lot of off-gassing. There's a lot of plastic. There's a lot of furniture that have sprays on it that are not good for our bodies. Laundry detergent that has different fragrances. Febreze spraying in the house. All of these things, please look at the chemicals that you're putting in, on, and around your body, because it does have an effect. So breath is so important, and most of us are shallow breathers. So if you can put your hand on your chest and one on your stomach and take a deep breath, if you don't feel both of these moving, you're a shallow breather, because a lot of people just breathe from the chest here. So get in tuned with your body and start to breathe a good breath. 4, 6, 8, that is the actual seconds. 4 seconds to inhale, 6 seconds to hold, 8 seconds to exhale. And when your exhale is longer than your inhale, your body automatically goes into parasympathetic, calming the vagus nerve. Another way you can do this is box breath, where it's inhale 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds. But you can have that 4 seconds up to 30 seconds, a minute long. A lot of the people that practice meditation and Buddhism also do this type of breath work, and they can do it minutes at a time for an inhale and a hold and exhale. It's amazing. Also circling an infinity sign around your eyes here. That is another energetic technique that Donna Eden has created. And this will actually help calm your nervous system into parasympathetic as well. You can tell it's working when you start to yawn, or when your body or your stomach starts gurgling. Then you'll know that your reaction to it. And this is cumulative. Your body has been through a lot of different stresses in life and experiences. So what works for me might not work for other people. And it might take a little bit longer for other people, since I've been doing it for a lot short of a period of time. Also, Jin Shinjutsu. It's a great self-soothing practice that you can do on yourself. You can do it on others. You can do it on your animals. That will also help you get into the parasympathetic mode. And a lot of times when I have a client on the table and I'm actually putting my hands on them, their stomach will start to gurgle, and they always apologize. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's, to me, is a compliment. That's music to my ears. That is the body calming itself naturally. And I just love that. Of course, quality sleep. A lot of us aren't in bed between the hours of 10:30 and 11:30. Very important to be in bed before that time, because of the Chinese medicine system of the organs. Every 2 hours, a different organ is on in activity or in the energetic mode. So very important to be in bed at that time. I have other videos that I will be doing on my YouTube channels, specifically talking about sleep and Jin Shinjutsu. But for this topic, I just wanted to bring up the importance of sleep. And to my Jin Shinjutsu, it is a 3,000-year-old healing art that was brought to the United States by Mary, who you see here in the picture. And she learned it with Master Jiro Morai in the late 1950s. And he asked her, hey, I have a present for you to give to United States. If you would like to bring this information over there, you can study with me. What do you think? She said yes. She did not know the impact that she was going to have. When she came back to the United States, it took her 15 years, but she wrote 2 different texts. And one text is about the different flows, and the other text is about the organ flows in the body. But I like this quote that she has in her book. It text 1, page 1. The truth is that within each one of us lies the power to cast away all misery aside and to know complete peace and oneness. To be the beautiful creature of perfect harmony, to truly know, help myself. And basically this modality is all about self-awareness, getting to know yourself, getting to know what your body does. And I really feel, along with the breath work that you do with it, and of course, other combinations of frequencies and watching what you eat and all that, you really can become a different person, and you become more enlightened and you see things differently. You're not as reactive as what you used to be. You really become the master of your emotions. And who would like to be that? I mean, I get accused a lot of not caring, but it's not that I don't care. I choose the emotion that I want to express. And anger, worry, fear, sadness are things that I'll have them, of course, I'll experience them. But if it's going to be more than 30 minutes of this emotion, I realize, okay, I need to do some Jin Shin or to move this energy so it doesn't harm my body. And this is just a real quick chart of the different 26 locations. There's on the left as well as the right. It's also based on Chinese medicine like acupuncture. Acupuncture, they say, works on the rivers of energy or the meridian system. In Jin Shinjutsu, we like to say we work on the banks of the rivers of energy. So even if you do get acupuncture, if you do Jin Shin on yourself or have a practitioner do it for you, it's still benefiting and it's enhancing whatever other modality you take, whatever prescription drug you're taking, or whatever yoga practice you're doing. It just always enhances whatever activity you're doing. It's an amazing art. And of course, 36 breaths a day is what she practices. And it's really easy to do. We did this on Monday when we held each of the different fingers and we had the 3 different breaths. And then we closed our hands, 3 breaths, 3 breaths. That ended up being 36 breaths. So we can talk, if anybody wants to share from their experience, that'd be great after the presentation. But this is one gift I would like to give everybody. This is how to boost your immune system. I was exposed to someone for, well, more than 3 or 4 days. She had COVID, she tested positive. However, I had my Jin Shin in my pocket and I knew how to take care of my body. So even though I was in the car with her for 4 hours, I did feel a little some funniness coming into my body, but I did this for the whole drive and I never got even a sniffle. I felt great the whole time I was with her, and she was asymptomatic, but still, anyone that hears the COVID or gets kind of freaked out, do this. And you can do it any time of the day. It's real easy. You take your right hand, you put it over your shoulder, and I made a little bubble of orange marks so you can see the area of the safety energy lock. It is also the size of your palm. Everybody's body is different, their hands different, and the different safety energy locks can move on certain people. So if you're touching it and you feel a little tenderness, then you know that you're probably on it, but that there's some congestion of energy there. So you really need to put your hand on it and work at that. But it's not a manipulative massage or anything like that. It's just gently placing your hands over your shoulder here, so that way your fingers touch that shoulder blade. And then on your left hand, you're going to circle the finger and thumb. And then you're going to breathe. And I like to say inhaling energy and love, exhaling what no longer serves me. And after, you could do it as fast or as slow as you want, but the main thing is to get every finger and circling with that thumb, each of them. And then when you're done with each finger, then you take your hands and you put it across your heart, again, taking a deep breath in and exhaling, and then you change and do the other side. It's as simple as I can get as far as Jin Shin to boost your immune system. But it is pretty cool to practice something like that. And of course, you can go back to this on the replay to see the different slides and go into more detail at your leisure. But this is the chart that I used on Monday. And I wanted to say with Jin Shinjutsu, it is a daily practice, just like brushing your teeth or doing flossing. You don't go to the gym one time and work out and have awesome muscles. It's a daily self-care practice. And even though I did Jin Shinjutsu for a good year, it wasn't until I did my self-care class that I realized it needs to be done every day. In fact, several times a day if you can. Self-care is the new healthcare. When you have your health, that is your wealth. I remember how sick I was, and I remember how bad I prayed to, when am I going to get better? When are things I'm doing all these things to get better. When is it going to take? And it took a little bit of time, but it was my mind, I believe, that was getting in the way. And of course, learning all these new, reading all the books and webinars that I went to understand the body. So finally, I like to say with Jin Shin, there are no rules with Jin Shin. The hardest part about Jin Shin is remembering to do it. And a lot of us, naturally do a Jin Shin move. Like if you've had a headache, you hold your head here. Well, there's 2 points here that can help ease the energy of that stressor in your body. So we're constantly using and doing JSJ. We just don't know it. And finally, JSJ allows you to break the bonds of the emotional past and live a life of freedom, joy, and gratitude. And that is something that I found with Jin Shin that has been just amazing for me. Before I get to the last slide, I wanted to see if there was any questions. Sorry if I went a little fast, but I get excited and just talk. You're muted, Wendy. I'm sorry.
There are no questions in the chat, but why don't you stop the share and let's see everybody, and perhaps there might be questions when we're all facing each other.
There you go.
Hi to all of you who came in while she was presenting. Thank you for being here. Anybody has any questions for Bridget? I thought this was fascinating myself. Fascinating.
Thank you.
Please unmute and if you have any questions, this is a wonderful time to ask them. Rashmi says she really enjoyed it. It's very interesting. Thank you, Rashmi.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's not over yet, but this is a question time. Anybody have any health issues perhaps that they'd like to share in this forum so that Bridget maybe can guide you?
Is there anybody that has like a consistent pain that they want to talk about, or something that they would like to have work on?
Hi, evening.
Good morning, Donna. Hi.
I have a question.
Yes.
There are times at nights I am like my sinuses are clogged and I'm unable to breathe.
Okay.
Not every night, but like occasionally. Is there, like someone suggested that it may be the food or the foods that I'm eating prior to bed, or like?
Yes, that can have an effect, especially dairy before bed. That's a reaction that a lot of people might have with the phlegm. But is there any specific time that you're waking up regularly? Like, is that 2 o'clock every day, or does it vary?
It's usually, I think maybe around 2-ish.
Okay.
That type.
2 o'clock is
around that.
when your liver gets into the energetic field of moving with Chinese medicine. So that finger is actually the middle finger. So what I would suggest, if you wake up before, between 2 and 4, I would hold your middle finger, and you can hold it either like this, like that. You can do circles. However, if you're having, if it's not too painful, if you want to tap on your cheekbones, that's another safety energy lock. This also helps ground your body. If you find that a lot of times that you're scattered in your head and you're just all over the place and you feel like you can't settle down in your head, take a couple of deep breaths and exhale and tap your cheekbones. That will actually help ground you. If this is too painful because of the sinuses, you can always take your hand on the bottom of your foot and you can put your hand in different ways, the front and back to it, and that actually changes the energy of your body, because you have energy going this way and you have energy going down this way on your body. When you do that on your foot, that kind of resets the energy, and that can help enhance your body to move. Anything head related, big toes also. Go down to the big toes. If anybody has little 2-year-olds that have little temper tantrums, you can hold your big toes and send it to them. Like, have the intention, I'm holding my toes to calm this child down. It's really fun to do at airports or at the malls. just to play with it, see if it works. And I always have fun doing that. So I have 2 grandchildren that I do long distance work with. So it definitely can be done. So try that, because anything in the head too would help.
Bridget, when you say hold, perhaps you should say how long they should hold, a certain number of breaths or a certain amount of time.
It's your body innately will know. I would give it at least probably 2 to 3, a minimum of 2 minutes, up to 5 minutes, really. When you're holding any of the fingers, that's usually how long it takes for the energy to move. However, the whole energy in the body, it'll take a whole 20 minutes before it cycles through, and then also 24 hours for the whole energy to be completely out of your body. So some people, when they get a Jin Shin session, 30 minutes later, they're feeling amazing, but the next day it's like they've gone up above all vibrations and feeling absolutely fantastic. So you got to give your body a chance for it to move and do the energy that it needs to move.
We have another message in the chat. June DeGale says, so much new information, really interesting. It is new for a lot of us, June. I find it fascinating. It's a whole new world that she's opened. And I love energy modalities, but this one is completely new for me. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hi, Bridget. I sent you a DM. I sent you a message directly. It's Josiane. Hi, everybody.
Hi,
Okay.
You had a recommendation regarding sleep, getting to bed maybe around 10 o'clock. I think I missed a little bit of it before. But my particular challenge is sleep deprivation. Sometimes it's extreme. I don't know why I'm getting that echo.
I think the iPhone. Who's on the iPhone?
Yeah, I'm going to try and turn it off.
Is that
It's
you?
been
Yes,
stubborn. Hang on a
the
second.
iPhone. Yeah, great. That would be great.
Right, is that better?
Yes.
Right, great. Sorry about that again. How do I get around the challenge with sleep? It's compounded a bit by the fact that I'm on a cocktail of eye drops that have to be put in at a specific time, the very last one at midnight. And it means that I cannot sleep before then at all. And sometimes because of the steroid in the drops, I'm up until 2 in the morning. And then of course, the other aspects of having to compete with my racing thoughts that I can't seem to shut off.
Right.
At that time. How do I deal with that? Do you have any suggestions?
Ananda Maya Moksha, do that mantra. If you have to write it down to remember it, do that. It'll just take a few times to do it. The important thing is the light. After sunset, if you can wear those blue blockers or buy a pair, they're under $30, I think. Some you can get for $10. But protecting your eyes from the different light bulbs, because a lot of them are the spectrums that we don't need to see at night. Right. Or you can put red bulbs in your house. I mean, I don't know if you want to do that, but most importantly is to have those lights off. The room needs to be pitch black. I know if you do go to bed and you got to wake up and put drops on, it's a little hard not to put a light on, but maybe you can put like a salt lamp, have that on, a little bit of a glow, but try to put a red bulb in the lamp so that way it's not emitting the light. The thoughts are really the main thing. So I would do the Anandabhaya Moksha. I would look at that chart that has all the fingers and start holding each finger and do some breath work, but just calm in your body, saying, I am safe, I am loved. I'm getting better and better every day in every way. Just little things like that really change your vibration and your frequency in your brain to the point that you will be able to fall asleep. I mean, it is difficult with the steroids. I understand that, but we can work a little bit and see what else can work. Ho'oponopono, if you know that, Ho'oponopono, you can do that prayer as well. That works fantastic as well. So it's just, don't get frustrated with your body like I did and damned it and just was so angry at it. Don't do that. It does not serve anything. Be easy with your body, love your body, even though it's not doing exactly what you want to do. Don't put judgment on it and just say, and this too will pass. I'm getting better as I put my drops in.
And may I add, don't let other people put judgment on your body, Josiane, because that is so damaging to us. All right, hold your center. hold your
Yes.
center. Now,
Yes.
I'd like to give Bridget a couple of minutes to go back to her slides. So anybody have any more questions, or can she continue? Margaret,
Yes, please.
Margaret says, definitely going to try various ways of calming her body. And Terry said she thoroughly enjoyed this. So Bridget, you feel free to go back and share. Thank you for your answers.
I am going to go to my last page here. This is my website, findingcoherence.com. I'm still working on it. I have some PDFs there that you can download and some just general information on there. I am on social media, YouTube, as well as Instagram and Facebook. But my YouTube channel, I'm actually going to put, and if you guys want to put in the chat, different topics that you want me to do a little 5-minute, 3-minute YouTube, I will be more than happy to do that. I was going to do first aid ones, headaches, menstrual pain, that kind of stuff. I can do that as well. And then I'm also promoting a Master Your Life 5-day challenge using Jin Shinjutsu and frequencies. It's a 5-day class, but it's going to be anywhere between 15 to 20-minute videos that you can watch at your leisure during the week. And then we'll have a Q&A at the end of the week. I haven't set the date yet. I'm kind of playing with it because I've got other obligations for the month. So it'll either be at the end of the month or maybe first week of March.
Is there a charge for that, Bridget, or is it a free challenge?
No, it is a $47 charge. I really lowered the price as low as I could on Mastermind, but this is just an introductory one. It will be doubling in price probably every couple of months until I decide not to. But I do have a Hashimoto's course that I'm working on currently, but I just have a lot of promoting of myself going on this month that I'm going to wait a little bit on that.
Okay. So the first thing that's happening on Bridget's world that we can access is her Master Your Life in a 5-day challenge course. And that is 15-20 minutes every day for 5 days. Is that right? And
Correct.
then a Q&A. And you can find it on Mastermind link that's on the screen. So if you're interested, take a screenshot. And then of course you can find Bridget on Finding Coherence, www.findingcoherence.com. Bridget, I would love to see everybody's face again. If you're,
Yes.
are you all through with your slides?
That's it. Yeah.
Fantastic. So
There we go.
personally, I thought this was really amazing, and I love the information that you shared. It seems to me the beginning of a whole new world of changing the chi, and changing the chi is something that is my mission in life. So thank you, Bridget. And from the questions that you got, I think there's probably many people in the tribe. Some of them will watch the replay, and I hope they will connect with you through the thread.
Sure.
For those of you who have watched this, if you come up with any more questions or comments for Bridget, feel free to contact her. Write it in the thread for everybody to benefit, or contact her directly. I think Josiane has already done that, because she has so much information to share, and she has walked this walk already. So you're in good hands. Does anybody want to say anything or add anything or ask another question before we wrap up?
And on Monday too, I'll be doing a chakra balancing meditation.
Oh,
So we can, well, I'll be seeing hopefully everybody again there. And it'll be less JSJ, more of other stuff that I've learned about the chakras, just different prayers to help. Because really the Kundalini energy is what we can cultivate. And I've just touched the top of the iceberg on the Kundalini learning. So I'm excited to learn even more on that. So
Bridget, that's wonderful, because we've had already Terry Osborne did 7 weeks of chakra progressive meditations on the chakras, coming from the ground up, literally. And then it was followed by 4 weeks of Kundalini yoga sessions with Elspeth. And so this is going to harmonize it all, isn't it? The Kundalini and the chakras. So our Monday meditation on the 14th will be Bridget with harmonizing the chakras using her own special magic. So I look forward to seeing you guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you everyone who's watching the replay. Many blessings. Bridget, thank you.
thank you so much. Thank you.